Let me ask you this. Is all legitimate governmental power derived from the people?
Yep.
Did the individual citizens ever have the right to initiate physical force against other citizens that had not initiated or threatened to initiate physical force?
All right. You keep making this point. I don't know what your political background is or what the political background of this. Let me finish, please.
Could you just answer that question?
I'm happy to answer the question.
Okay.
And I don't know really where you are coming from politically, but you keep coming back to the point, I presume, that every law that is passed by the federal government, state government, or local government is some kind of forceful attack on innocent people. I happen not to think so. I happen to believe that in a civil society, in a civilized society, people come together, they elect their officials, the officials try to do well, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, they determine priorities, they raise taxes, and they spend money. Your implication is that sometimes that every government in the world is somehow beseeching innocent people in a forceful and violent way. I do not accept that basic premise.
What was my question?
I answered your question.
My question was whether the individuals ever had the right to initiate physical force against other citizens that have not initiated or threatened to initiate physical force.
You seem to think...
Do you think they did or they didn't?
I think your question, frankly,
either
sir,
yes or no.
Frankly, I think your question is absurd.
Well, fine. The viewers would like to know what you think about it.
I'm giving you the answer for the fourth time. The basic premise of your question is that all acts of government, every law that is being passed, somehow implies physical force against innocent people.
No, I haven't said that. I have not said that. That has nothing to do with the question that I asked. All I've asked you is whether the individual citizens ever had the right to initiate physical force against other citizens that have not initiated or threatened to initiate physical force.
I've answered your question 5 times. Frankly,
well, is it a yes or no?
It's an absurd... In this country, if people do not like what their towns are doing, their city government, their state government, their federal government, they unelect people. That's what freedom is about.
Why are you unwilling to answer that question?
It's an absurd question. You are implying that every
but that's what people want to know.
No one has ever asked me that question.
Right.
I must tell you. If your implication is that every piece of... Right now, as we speak, on the floor of the Congress, there is a discussion about a law. You can interpret that after that law is passed, if people choose not to obey it, they will be punished.
Is it not possible for you simply to answer the question?
I've answered you that question as best I can.
Well, I have no idea whether it's a yes or a no. What is it?
I've answered that question as best that I can. I think it's an absurd question, and you mischaracterize the function of government. You just refuse
to answer that question.
No, I've answered it in 5 different ways. Let me ask you the question. Maybe help me clarify.
Okay.
Help me clarify the question.
Sure.
Because I'm not quite sure where you're coming from. Is it your suggestion that every law that is passed by a city, state, or federal government implies an act of force against innocent people?
No. That's not my suggestion.
Now
can you answer the question of whether...
Let me rephrase it, yes.
The question is, did the individual citizens ever have the right to initiate physical force against other individual citizens?
I would expect that would be against the law. People do not have the right to go around beating up innocent people.
That would be wrong, right?
That would be wrong.
So if they never had that right, could they have delegated it to the government?
I guess they have. They have delegated the right of governments to make war. They have delegated the right of governments to build roads. They have delegated all types of rights to people. And in a civilized society, as you know, we have laws, we have judges, we have courts, we have appeal processes, and when people break the law, they are punished.
Can you delegate a right that you don't have?
I believe the American people have the right in a representative democracy to delegate power to their elected officials to do best for cities, states, and the federal government. So I guess the answer is yes.
But didn't you say before that they didn't have the right to do that?
Excuse me. Okay. I've got to get going. Thank you very much. What is your background? Well, I've got to go vote right now.
Okay. I understand that you have to go vote.
Can you just ask me a question while we're on the camera?
Can we get to the bottom line?
No,
let's just get to the bottom line and wrap it up so that we can finish this show. And
well, I think we've finished the show, and I must confess that your questioning is interesting. I've enjoyed the discussion. Not quite sure where you are coming from, but I've tried my best to answer your questions, and I thank you very much for Well, I've got to vote, as you can say. One of the obligations of being a representative is to vote, to try to represent the people as best we can. I got an important vote. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much for the interview, Congressman.
You're very welcome.
Thanks for watching.
I would like some more information as to exactly where the show is going to come, where it's, who you are, where you're coming from. I think you gave me about the origin of the show. I would like to know, leave me your card, because I would like some very specific information about who you are,
Fine.
who finances the show, and where it goes.
Okay. Would you like to do the show on minimum wage?
No, I've done enough, thank you.